Hey, my name is Jan. I had quite a few requests over the years to make a video and show how I fill my own vocal cords. I hope this is going to be very helpful for a lot of singers out there or professional voice users because it allows you to get a clear picture of your own instrument. And the cool thing is you can do this at home while being on tour or even backstage if you have some concerns about the conditions of your vocal cords. And of course, it's not a substitute for seeing a professional, but I think it's a really useful skill or tool to have, especially if you don't have a laryngologist anywhere close in the area where you live. I'm not a YouTuber, so I'll do the best I can and let's just do it. So these are usually the results I get when I fill my vocal cords. As you can see, there's some pretty good detail in the images. And it can show you some small spots of concern or even point out pathologies which are circled in red. This is a good example where you can see some inconsistencies on the edges of the folds, which in this case is a small nodule that currently grows when I sing a lot of gigs during the week. But I can also see it shrink again when I have a few days off and I don't speak much. To do my recordings, I use a very cheap adjustable telescopic mirror that I buy at a local hardware store. It's important that you can adjust the angle of the mirror. So this is very simple and cheap. I also have my old Panasonic GH4 camera, which supports 4K video recording. It has a foldable and tiltable display, which is almost a must-have, so you can see what you're doing. I'm currently using a 42.5mm prime lens on this Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera. And lastly, you need one of those tiny super bright LED lights, which I got from Amazon. And if it's waterproof, that might be actually a good thing to have as well, so it can be sanitized before using it. Turn on your camera first and set the focus mode to manual. And use the focus ring to set it to the closest possible distance. This of course depends on the lens you're using. So technically all you have to do is heat up the mirror over some hot running water so it doesn't fog up while using it. But in this video I'm also using some antibacterial soap and wash the mirror properly before using it, which might be actually a wise thing to do. And if you're doing this for the very first time, please watch the details later in the video in regards to some possible safety concerns using such a mirror. I just keep it under the hot running water for a bit longer to further heat it up. Then dry it with a clean paper towel and you're almost ready to go. Of course now you can't wait for too long before using it, otherwise it will cool down again and possibly fog up. Alright, so I take the mirror and place it right behind my tongue and use the LED light with the correct angle so the light shines down towards the larynx. You can already see my vocal cords in there. I'm opening and closing them on purpose so you can see them a bit better. It looks super easy, doesn't it? Here's another take with the LED light on full brightness in front of the camera, but make sure you don't point it towards your eyes. And there are the vocal cords. This is how it looks to me while I'm filming. I'm always trying to get my vocal cords into focus by either moving my head slightly closer or further away from the camera. I can also produce some tone and make them vibrate. Alright, here's another video. I was a bit lucky on this one since the vocal folds were pretty much in focus from the beginning. But as soon as I move a bit further away from the camera, I start losing focus, and so do I when I get a bit too close. So I constantly go back and forth since the focus range is quite small. You can also see the epiglottis on the left hand side of the mirror. I'm trying to keep it open by breathing in the entire time, really slowly. Once you're done, all you gotta do is pop in the SD card into your computer and open the video. By the way, I'm using QuickTime on Mac. QuickTime allows you to zoom in and out with the plus and minus keys, and you can also go frame by frame with the arrow keys on your keyboard. And if there's a frame that you like, you can just take a screenshot, which looks something like this. Let's take another one. I really got used to continuously open and close the vocal cords during recording. For some reason, at times it gives me a better view of the depth of the actual folds. Sometimes I also like to stretch and lengthen the vocal cords as much as possible while bringing them closer together. This sometimes makes the inconsistencies of the edges pop out a bit more. I have my camera mounted 90 degrees sideways, since the vocal cords are longer than wide. This later allows you to zoom in a bit more and still see the entire length of the cords. You can also use the camera horizontally, which also works fine, but as you can see here, you might actually lose a bit of screen estate on either side. What I also find really important to mention, when you buy a new mirror, it might be a good idea to also buy some neutral cure silicone and seal the mirror alongside the edges. I usually try to press some of the silicone in with my thumb. You can then wipe the center and most of the mirror clean and let the silicone dry for at least a day. This prevents water from getting in and also might provide additional hold to the glass itself. Also make sure that all nuts and bolts are secure. You really don't want any parts falling down your throat while doing this. My mirror is roughly set to an angle of about 120 degrees, but it might be worth trying different settings and see what works for you. Well, this is how it looks like when you're filming. Anyway. What is a bit tricky and might really need some practice is getting the light to where it's needed, which is inside the larynx. Let's say the red line is the mirror. You have to make sure that the light, as you hold it, hits the mirror in the correct angle to shine down your larynx, otherwise you won't be seeing too much. So as you can see, it's really easy to do, or it can be really easy to do once you set up that mirror properly and you figured out how to hold the LED light with the mirror so the light actually shines down into your larynx. I sort of vaguely remember how it was when I tried the first few times. It felt almost impossible to do. I think the main issue was that it needs a bit of training to open up the throat completely, so you need a really high soft palate as well as widen the throat as much as you can. Think about yawning really hard and while you're having the tongue out to create enough space for that mirror. I think that's the main thing, and while I'm filming I'm trying to continuously inhale really slowly. It can be sort of strenuous after a while, so just take a break and just use some more hot water for the mirror, dry it again so it doesn't fog up, and just keep trying. Don't be frustrated if it doesn't work out the first day or 2 or 3. It might take actually some time to get the hang of it, but once you have figured it out, it's super easy and super quick to get really clear pictures of your vocal cords. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer all of them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and might see you in another video. Who knows?